What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I'm your host, Randi Hipper, back here today on this lovely, lovely day to hang out with you guys. Hang out, talk crypto, and for you guys to meet today's amazing guest. But before we talk to today's zesty guest, make sure to share some love to the stream, share some love to each other in the chat, say hello. We all need love in this world. Smash the like, subscribe, share the stream out with friends so more people can learn about today's guest. And I'm going to waste no time. Let's talk to him. We have Crypto Zombie on the show today. How are you?
What is going on? Thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Of course, of course. You're looking good today. You got the Bitcoin swag on. So, like, how's life been treating you?
It's been a lot more fun, interesting for sure. It was getting very, very boring. And, as a content creator, I could look at the charts and whatever, but it was very boring for most people. So I'm actually glad that there's been some action. There's been some excitement. There's been a new narrative with the AI tokens, prices pumping. Everybody's getting all pumped again. So I like it. It's getting fun again. The community's coming back to life. So
exactly. I saw so many resurrections, so many people coming back, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, friends, we're back on Twitter. Let's start doing podcasts, Twitter Spaces, giving away everything." And I think that's great. We do need some hype. We need some good sentiment. So I'm actually happy to see some people come back. However, I'm happy to see you. I want to learn more about you, Crypto Zombie. Of course, you've had a life before crypto, so let's talk about it. What were you doing?
I don't remember what life was like before crypto.
Honestly, same. So tell me about college, Crypto Zombie. What were you up to? What did you think you were going to do with your life?
Well, actually, this is a great tie-in because college Crypto Zombie was party zombie.
Hey.
And I was, I was working for my dad. He has a very successful landscaping business. He's literally the largest in our whole tri-state area. He's huge.
Wow.
And, it was one of those things where, I did well in school and I had these different options, but then it was but I could also have this business, which is very successful. So I kind of, stayed local and worked with him for a while. And of course we butted heads and stuff a lot because, working for family. But getting back to the college thing, I had a friend in college and he used to party with us, but he was mining Bitcoin on his literally computer, no ASIC miner, just mining Bitcoin on just a regular desktop computer. This is back when you could do that. And I remember him telling me about it. And, I was just stupid garbage internet, didn't care. And man, I wish I listened to him because I look at what the price, I don't know if he actually held on to it. I haven't talked to him. I haven't seen him in years. We were more of college friends.
He's on an island now.
I don't know. I hope he kept that because think about those block rewards back then.
50 Bitcoin at the start. I believe.
Can you imagine? And if he just was getting that, mining it, that's nuts. I hope he saved it. So, but yeah, anyway, long story short, kind of started butting heads with my dad, wanted to branch out, do other things. I started doing online marketing, trying to, make money online, right? And it's all you do is just lose money and pay other people for courses that don't work. But I started doing this one thing with this guy that was actually working, and he had these people he was paying. I don't remember where he was paying them. He was from Canada and they were Singapore. I'm just making that up. And they were accepting Bitcoin. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I'm going back to college and I'm like, wait, so this is still a thing and people are accepting it?
That's so funny.
And that's when he's like, oh, yeah. And then he kind of threw in, and it's been doing really well. This was back in May of 2017. So I just bought some. I said, screw it. I bought $100. I was like, okay.
Wow.
Forgot about it. Literally came back in a couple weeks and my $100 is now $200. And that's when I was like, okay, what's going on here? And then it started with the initial kind of I want to make money. But then you just go down the rabbit hole and you know what I mean? Then it's just I don't even care about the money. Now it's just sound, non-confiscatable, my property, screw the Fed and all this stuff. And yeah, it's just here I am still doing this. And I'm one of those fortunate people that actually is in an industry and a job that I love. I get excited to come to work, which I don't really consider this work, but, talking about crypto, sharing, I don't have any paid courses or anything like that. I'm just here for the community. We're all in it together and I'm happy to see everyone succeed. So.
That's beautiful, Zombie. I love that. And I feel the same exact way. This isn't work for me. This is a passion of mine. And for you to hear about Bitcoin so early, a kid mining Bitcoin on his laptop, I could only imagine. And then you rediscovered it again in 2017 and just bought right away. I mean, why in 2017 you make the move then? Because you saw it was still around, or you were just okay, throw money at it?
It was both. It was half because that was the major bull run from $1,000 all the way up to 20K. I bought my first Bitcoin I still have the Coinbase trend. I don't have it on me, but it was like $2,000. It was
Oh my
2000
gosh.
something, which is crazy, right?
Wild.
So that's why for me, I'm not really worried. Like people are like, oh, what if it does go down to 10K? I'm like, well, okay, if you got it in the past year or whatever, that might suck. But I mean, long term, we know where the price is going. I mean, think about it. Even if you had bought at every top, you know, even now, technically, we're higher than the last, right? We only dipped below it for a couple weeks. So,
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. Like when you look at the fiat system and everything, this is the deeper part that I was going into. So it wasn't just making money; it was understanding like how cash is really trash. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's been a good position if you've been sitting in just cash for the past couple of years, but that's not going to last. You know, the only reason that they're raising the rates is so they have something to cut. Trust me, they only have like one tool in the shed, and they know they're going to turn the money printer on again. I'm going to sit in my Bitcoin. But yeah, it was crazy. I would not do what I did. Because I can't tell people to do what I did, even though it worked out for me. I let my house go into foreclosure. I sold all my cars and I rode a bike literally for 2 years. And I just kept working. And every single dollar I made, I just bought Bitcoin.
Wow.
It was ridiculous. It was so like not a good. If you have like a family and kids and responsibilities, I was just like, I don't
You're
care. Let them.
degenning.
It was so bad, and I just and you know that's why everyone's
Wow.
like, oh, you got lucky. I'm like, well, number one, I threw all my savings into it, and number two, I sold. Like I was selling records and posters. I was just selling anything on eBay so I could just get more Bitcoin. It was like such FOMO because I don't know if you had. I mean, just look at the chart. It was
Yeah.
crazy, and I just felt like I couldn't buy enough quick enough. You know, the price just kept slipping and just getting so high. And then I don't know, you know, I was seasonally unemployed, and I said to myself, you know, I'm listening to all this crypto content, but a lot of it is a little advanced. And I was like, I feel like you need like a Good Morning America. You need a guy to just kind of come on and just
Yeah.
talk. And that's sort of what. So I literally just started the channel more of just a document, just a journey, just to be like, this is what I'm looking at, this is what I'm seeing, and I'm just sharing the research as I'm doing it. You know. So it's kind of like the channel has grown through me just having a journey that people have sort of just been on with me, I guess. And, you know, so
That's super interesting. And, falling down this rabbit hole in 2017 as prices rising, obviously you're degenning, you're FOMOing in, and you're falling down this rabbit hole. What about Bitcoin did you love the most apart from setting it apart from the financial system, being that, again, like you did say, like you saw so many imperfections there. What was like the biggest thing that won you over?
um it's weird because I feel like I was a different person, and this is we're only talking like 7 years or 6 years, 7 years ago.
It's a long time.
You know, I mean, now it's different, you know, because I've been in the space and people like know me. So I don't, I used to have a very libertarian view, you know, like screw them, like don't pay taxes, like you can't touch this. And now it's like, okay, fellas, okay, you know, I do live here in the U.S., so I don't agree with it, but if you want your cut, take it, like, because you know, I like my life right now, but yeah, it was really just that sort of like it's something because like you know even your house like you don't really own your house. They just let you keep your shirt and pants there. I mean they can take it at any time they want. You know the town can keep moving the road closer. You know it's so nothing is really yours. And I just felt like Bitcoin was finally something that I could protect. And since Bitcoin is attempting to be money, was supposed to be cash, store of value, whatever you want to call it. To me, it was like this is the only thing in my life I've ever seen that when I own it and I have those keys in my head, that's actually mine. And it was just this like crazy liberating feeling that I was like, I think this is going to catch on if people understand. And I think the price, some people get mad about the price. I don't. I think price is important because if the price had not gone up that when I had bought, I would have never looked into it. So you start FOMOing in because you want to get rich. And then you realize, whoa, I was just watching I think it was Kitco News, and they were talking about how like the banks can basically just seize your money. They if not without even if you did nothing wrong, and they can use your funds for the buy-in, like what they did with Cyprus. And it just makes you realize, like, they're sitting here talking about crypto's a scam, this and that. It's like, well, I can go on the blockchain and I can verify how much Bitcoin there is. I have no idea how many dollars there are, and banks only have to keep, and I think it's even less now than 10% of the cash on hand. So like if everybody tried to pull all their money out, it's not even there anyway. So like
Exactly.
which system is the scam here? And I don't know, like I just feel safer, long term. Yeah, it sucks, you have that volatility with the dollar, the price. So, if you need money, I use cash for daily living. Have enough cash that you can get by, you can do what you have to do. Like, I'm not telling anyone to buy or sell. I'm not a financial advisor. But long term, if you don't have to do anything and it's just saving and you're just going to sit there, I would personally buy Bitcoin. Why would you want to have it sit in a bank and lose value guaranteed, long term?
Oh yeah, I was trying to explain that to people on Twitter Spaces this morning, and it was like some people were tipping with me, but that's exactly what I said. Like, other people in other countries that can't be banked and that need money now and that are using Bitcoin to transact right now, yeah, use it as money. But if we're kind of spoiled where we live and in the US, and if we want to spend fiat that's literally diminishing in purchasing power day by day, why would I choose to spend Bitcoin over that? It just doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather hold if I could. If I can't, then I can't. Then I got to do what I got to do. But
it's
also
Gersham's law. That's what it is. It's bad money drives out good. Like, basically, if you knew that you could go to a store and they could accept, you're going to buy $100 worth of groceries, and they said, we'll take Bitcoin or we'll take cash. Which one would you give them? I would
obviously
give them the cash.
100%.
I don't want to give you
Get that out of my hands.
That's the point. So
yeah.
I'm sorry. What were you saying though?
Yeah, and I also love what you were saying before about like your money in the bank, because it's not your money. Why we all talk about proof of reserves for our crypto exchanges. Can we do proof of reserves for our local banks?
You
like
can.
What?
Your money, as soon as you give them their money, that money is lent out to someone. That's not even your money anymore. And I remember, like, speaking of my dad's business, he had a situation. I know there's always these big jokes about like car washes and landscapers. Like, my dad's legit, but I guess he there was an issue where the IRS came in, whatever, and they just froze his accounts. And he couldn't do anything, and that's what's kind of scary about these like CBDCs and stuff that you're hearing about is, what happens when everything is digital. And now it's like, oh, well, we don't really like this transaction you made, or we don't, you've used up all your carbon credits, so you can't fly on any more planes. And like, you can't, it's like, that's crazy, man. It's like 1984. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie or read the book, but it's scary.
CBDCs, man.
It's
not a fan.
I think they're probably coming, but this is the thing. I say, if they could see what you're doing, then do we get to see what they're doing? Like, you know what I mean? Or is it only going to be?
Not.
Is it only a one-sided? Because I want.
It always is.
If you want to make everything transparent, then we get to see what you guys do too. How's that? Then
that's
we get to see everything you're spending it on.
Listen, that's why they don't like Bitcoin, because you could see everything on the blockchain. It's full transparency. Every transaction, it's there. That's like the beauty of having like whale alerts and things like that on Twitter. We see where the money is going. I think that's extremely important. People really underestimate it. They really do. And that's, again, why they don't want it. Transparency. We see where everything's going. We get to own our crypto. We get to own our assets. And speaking of, please, friends, Own your zest. Smash those likes. We have over 100 people. We have 52 likes. Let's smash it, or gently tap your screen. We don't want to like break our screens out here. But speaking of content creation, because especially going through all of this, it's pretty crazy. All this price action. And what year did you originally start your channel? And what were you putting up at the start? And did you actually know how to trade when you started your channel?
No, I didn't actually. That's
so awesome. Explain.
No, I did not. That's part of the journey.
Yes.
So I was more of like, I guess, invest, flip, like I was more like getting into altcoins, and trying, and I'm going to be honest with you, I completely botched like my whole first run. All the money that this is the worst story, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. All the money that I made in the bull run, I basically broke even at the bottom of the bear market because I was holding for too long, throwing money at things without doing research. I did like literally every mistake you could possibly make. So I started my channel. I mean, literally, I think I started it like January 3rd of 2018 officially. Now I'd been in crypto, but privately, like I wasn't posting, I was just buying and stuff. And that's when I started making the content. And it was basically just nothing but downhill price action for like my whole first like year and a half of my channel. So like people that say, oh, I haven't lived through it, guys, like I started my channel. And basically, I was like the sell indicator. Like I started my channel.
The top signal.
The price just continued to just sell down for like 2 straight years. So what happened was once we got into that crazy, bottom of the bear market, we were bottoming out at like 6,000 for a long, long, long time. And then there was just that 50% crash, and it was just so like crazy boring. And the altcoins were dead. They were like 99% more, 99% down. And, that was the moment where I was like really regretting that I had not put more time and effort into Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin was like, no one was talking about altcoins for, it felt like almost a whole year. The excitement was gone. So like, I just was like, well, what can I do with Bitcoin except just buy more? I was like, learn how to trade it. So I just literally just started trading Bitcoin, doing spot trades and then eventually moving into leverage, which is very, very dangerous, by the way, guys. It's very easy to lose money. I've lost money leverage trading before. Be careful with that one. But, I just started reading charts, learning. And, at first it's kind of like you start looking at other people. Like I used to look at a lot of other analysts to learn from them, like people that I would respect, like, that have been doing it longer than me. But eventually you kind of adapt your own style. And it's really weird. Like I used to be the guy where like you needed a million indicators, and now it's like, if you look at my charts, people would almost think like, does even like it's so simple. And I'm like, it is that simple. I think you're overcomplicating it with all these indicators. Like really, the only thing that really matters is price. It's price, because how are bots and algorithms trading? They're trading on prices and they're trading on levels, and they're looking at like certain areas of volume. And really, you don't need much more than that. I mean, I do like some of the like market cipher. I like seeing money flow. I like things that I can like kind of, those do help me. But I find they're more short term, like quick trades. But if you want to like zoom out and look at the big picture, you really don't need complex charts to really know, what's going on and stuff. So I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this quick. So you're from New York, right?
Yes.
What do you ever sleep? Because I'm pretty sure that you say good morning and the timestamp is like 4 a.m.
Yeah, I sleep. I find time.
But
I'm addicted to crypto Twitter, so it's an issue. And speaking of something not being an issue, if you guys want to check out Market Cipher, link is in the live chat. Also, you can use code MissTeenCrypto for 20% off if that helps. It's really cool. Shout out to Crypto Face and the gang. But yeah, so I live in New York. Yeah, I'm up early. I'm up and at 'em. Always addicted to crypto
4
Twitter.
o'clock. I don't know if I could do 4. I used to do 6 when I used to work with my dad and stuff. But yeah, Market Cipher is amazing. Like I know, like go use whatever. Use that link below. It's not free, obviously, but it's a really good indicator. I use it for like I actually do have I set it on the 1 hour, and sometimes when I'm doing my my videos, you'll hear like a beep, like a ping go off.
Yeah.
And I was doing this like 1 hour strategy for a while. Really good for beginners and actually advanced too. But yeah, man, it's been great. This has been fun to trade this. But like now I am starting to get at that point where there is a level of caution right now that I'm feeling. And I know people don't want to hear that because, I was the one when we were at like 16, literally, you can go watch my videos. I was like, guys, we're going to have a move up. Like this is not going to keep going down.
You said this at 15?
No, no, when we were like kind of like around that 16 sort of 5 area.
Okay.
Well, I messed up on the bottom. I thought when we went to 17.5, we had that big wick. I thought that was the bottom. And we stayed there for like 3 months and never went lower. And then we finally had that like freaking So I mean, it was holding pretty well for a while. But I'm not going to try to guess the bottom. Who knows? I do think though that we have seen a lot of like the washout necessary with the FTX and all that stuff. Getting the bad actors out of the field is definitely good. And even though it sucks while it's happening, it is better for the industry. And those that are legit, that, are doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're going to be around for a while. And that was what I tried to say when we were talking. I don't know if you were at that. We were at the one of the conferences. And I was saying, crypto is not FTX. Bitcoin is not Sam Bankman-Fried. Like that's a centralized entity that took advantage of customers and did shady things. Bitcoin didn't turn off. It didn't stop working. It didn't stop verifying. Like nothing at all changed. It's like, and people are freaking out. Like, oh, crypto's a scam. No, that guy's a scam. Crypto is not a scam. Like,
thank you.
There's scams in crypto, but there's scams everywhere.
It wasn't even like using crypto, a lot of it. They were like making up fake coins, which was like an exchange issue. And then it was just straight up fraud. People send money to FTX and it actually went to Alameda's bank account. Yeah. So that was just bad business.
Yeah. And they had so much of their own tokens, and people don't understand they don't understand how market cap works. I try to educate people. You can have something that is at like $100 million market cap, right? And it doesn't mean anything. If one person did a transaction and bought one of the tokens, and that was the only transaction, and they paid 10 million for it, well, now you have a 10 million market cap because it was the only transaction and that was the last price that was paid for it. Now, is there, what I'm saying? We're like, I don't know, liquidity, you got people, they get wrecked, especially in some of these altcoins. They buy in on the hypes and then people forget about them and then they try to sell and they can't. because
Yeah.
there's
No,
like
no.
not enough liquidity, or else
Exactly. Oh
you're gonna crash
gosh.
the order book. So it's tough because I get a lot of people on the channel. They're like, oh, tell us about these like altcoins, and I'm like, yo, the
It's
real
risky business.
it's risky, and it really is. You're gambling, man. Like even legitimate companies that are doing, like right now, everyone's just throwing everything at AI. You think all of these projects like are legit? Like they're all gonna like change the world? No, it's just because it has AI in the name. But don't forget when everybody was throwing money at it was like pickles and onions and hams.
Exactly. I was just going to
DeFi,
bring that
remember
up.
that stuff? And
When
like where's
Uniswap
all?
first was popping off and
Yeah,
Token was launching and all this stuff, it was absolutely insane. But like, they're trends that stick around. Like even NFTs, the whole PFP phase, everyone was like putting up PFPs and then women projects were a trend and like women PFP projects. But a lot of the key ones stick around, and then obviously not all of them make it, which is unfortunate. But the trends do stay. The key parts of them stick around, and that's what we need
hmm
to develop. It's like a kid. It's like a kid has certain obsessions for a certain amount of time, then they get past it, but a little bit of it is residual. It stays. It sticks around.
yeah. You keep the good parts of but that's
Exactly.
like for like every 1,000 projects that come out with this niche or something. For example, like Uniswap, Pancake Swap. There's a few others that people use, but
Yeah.
those are really where the big volumes are. A lot of the bigger exchanges, once they get that trusted reputation, although I don't know what happened with FTX, but you tend to see people flock to a lot of those projects and stuff. And I don't know. Like I said, there's stuff now that I look at. I mean, I think layer ones are the safest play long term. Because at least they can build on top of them, and layer ones can actually change their narrative. Like, I don't know if you remember Ethereum. Ethereum kind of it kept like changing. It's like sort of like it was like the world supercomputer, and it was like I don't know, like they kept
Since
like kind of
2020, when I came in, the narrative does change quite a lot on Ethereum. And they were
right.
saying proof of stake since I came in 2020. And then when it came out, I was actually surprised that it did, because I was like, wow, I've been waiting years for this. And even then, like, the narrative about the merge was so different before, like in 2020, than it is now, like dramatically.
I think it's just crazy to see the things that we've talked about actually happening and how we're just so nonchalant about them now.
Pretty
Like it's
much.
crazy. Like we had talked about the merge for so long and Ethereum moving to proof of stake. And even just like I remember we would talk about, oh, can you imagine the day that like a big company would put Bitcoin on its balance sheet? Or what about if like a country adopts it? That happened and we're just kind of like, meh. Like, all right, what's next? Like we got a country that adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender, and it's just like kind of not even no one's even paying attention
I
anymore.
think this is like a media thing as well, like mainstream media. I think a lot of it is attributed to that, because when there's a lot of good news, that it's not covered. And unless Bitcoin is on a crazy bull run, then they have to cover it. But otherwise, when crypto's going down, it goes down a few percent. Or it's like a crypto collapse, and meanwhile stocks could go down 80% or up 80% in a month, but that's not too volatile. But if that was crypto, it would be a big deal, right? So it's like there's a double standard for everything. And especially, Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, has actually tweeted recently speaking about how, this was a kind of maybe about the media, that, they were saying that they would default on their debts, and there were articles that he was linking to, and then he retweeted that same tweet that he was talking about the media, and he said that he was doing the right thing, and he sticks by his Bitcoin choice. So again, it's like a lot of media driven stuff. And I think
It's
Twitter and Elon taking over definitely helped.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. I still hate the narrative though about the whole Bitcoin. Sorry, I just got a message real quick. I About the whole Bitcoin and energy usage stuff. It's so like backwards. Like
Oh,
first of
yeah.
all, there's like I think at this point they're saying about 70% of it is renewable. And the thing is you can always tell when someone's like new in crypto because they always use the same like, oh, this coin is fast and it doesn't use any energy and this and that, and I can get a transaction in 1 second. It's like, okay, that's really good for like a placeholder. Like if you want to like send, like, remember Rayblox? Oh, actually, it's Nano. It's called Nano now. That's instant and it does what it does. But and I'm not, again, I don't. If you like that, that's fine. But the usage of the energy that costs to produce the Bitcoin is where the value comes from. And it's funny how that
Mm-hmm.
narrative gets turned into something negative when it's like, okay, well, what's the dollar? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just backed by the good old faith of the government. It's not even backed by gold anymore. So, that is fine. We can just print that out of thin air digitally. That costs nothing to do. That's fine. We trust that. but using electricity to verify the world's strongest literal network on planet Earth, oh, that's a problem now. And they're finding ways. Like I said, what they should do is they should just put a big like hydro thing right in the middle of Canada and United States, like right in Niagara Falls. Just reusable energy. Just mine Bitcoin and just split it off to each country. You guys, like they're doing
God
it.
forbid we all work together. But again, I really agree with you because it's proof of work for a reason, because you're proving your work to get it done, mine the blocks, and have your Bitcoin. Like it's proof of work.
That's the problem.
Like
that's
the whole thing.
With like Ethereum is like the proof of stake thing. I'm not against it, but it makes it more similar to what we already have.
Exactly.
Which is basically those who have money make more money. The rich stay rich, and that's kind of what it is now. Now, proof of stake, it's the whales. And what's actually kind of scary is most people don't actually know how to stake on their own. So what they do is they usually leave it on a exchange or something like that. So basically, the exchanges are actually the ones that are like running these like nodes and stuff. And I don't know, I get worried about like, what if like the government comes in and is just like, oh, well, you guys are running the biggest node, and then they try to get their hands in it. And now Ethereum becomes that, scary CBDC thing, and then it's all controlled. And I don't know. I just worry that they're going to try to, because think about it, right? Whoever has the most coins, right? The biggest proof of stake, you have the largest delegation ability or responsibility to make decisions. Well, that's the exchanges. The exchanges are going to have to play by the regulators' rules. And if the regulators come in and say, oh, well, you guys are running all the nodes, you have the majority. Okay, yeah, well, do this on Ethereum and change this. And now, and then you're getting into that whole surveillance state. Will they do that? I don't know. They'll probably just make their own blockchain. I don't know.
Like private blockchains. I know that's what other countries are looking into, is private blockchains. And, I'm a little nervous about it as well. I love proof of work, because of Bitcoin, even Litecoin. Proof of work is super, super important to me, like the true core of decentralization. And, I'm not hating on Ethereum, but at the same time, there's a lot of downsides that maybe were added because of the move to proof of stake. Granted, it still works. It opens the doors for DeFi, and it does get, it's still a part of the revolution. People that can't be banked, again, they have that internet connection. They could have some crypto and enter DeFi using Ethereum and make all these transactions, staking, and whatever else they want to do. So, for that, I am a fan of Ethereum. Again, I do hope that, the CBDCs aren't forced upon us, but I do know that it is happening. Unfortunately, other countries are integrating it. And, E&E, Daughter of Cosmos, thank you for the $5 super chat. They said crypto and curls. I appreciate it. There's a big thing because I straightened my hair, and now I
know. Well, actually, you have straight hair on the thumbnail of this video.
Yes.
So, I like the thumbnail, by the way.
Thank you.
I was trying to find the video, and it was very eye catching. Do you make them yourself? Because I need someone to make mine. I do all my work, and I need to like expand. I need people working.
I'll give you details after the show.
The problem is though, is like in crypto, it's so specific and hard and fast paced that like you try to work with these people, but if they're not in crypto themselves, they just don't get it. Like if I need like help, I'm like, no, I need this like right now. Like you have to like,
because it's the news.
Yeah. Like I need this in like 30 minutes. And they're like, well, I can have it to you in a day. I'm like, a day in crypto? That's like a year. We
exactly.
don't have that kind of time around here.
Yeah, I'll give you details after the show. But thank you again, E&E, Daughter of Cosmos. I appreciate it. I really do love the thumbnails. And so Design Lab is in the chat. He does them as well.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, definitely shout out to Design Lab. He's always cool watching the show as well. He's out doing a ton of creation and design stuff for graphics. But definitely Fiverr is a great spot to go for all of that stuff. Anyway, I really do whatchamacallit, I wanted to ask, because you did say that you were learning charts as you were, on your channel. And I really admire that, because even like when I came into crypto April 2020, I was into crypto for at least a year or two. But I was still learning, and I wanted to learn with my audience and teach my audience at the same time, learn and teach. That's kind of how I went about it. And now I'm learning charts as I'm doing my channel as well, showing a little bit of charts in the morning, just talking about price as I'm learning what it all means. But how did you start, and what did you think, like as a newbie, what do you think I should be looking at?
Charts? Like how to it's tough. Like I said, I kind of started by following other people and like learning what their strategies were.
Yeah.
And kind of like not back testing it, but seeing how well it played out. And then I would find actually a lot of the guys that I used to follow don't even make YouTube anymore. They must have all got rich in the last bull run and just completely left. But a lot of the guys I used to watch, and you could just go on, or just like, I tell people, like, just watch my videos. Like, not to be like, watch my videos, but like, just simply by just showing up every day and looking at what I'm doing, you will start to learn, But the biggest mistake that I will say is, once you do build a strategy and you start to really get comfortable, then start to limit yourself on how much other content you watch. Because I used to, but now that was to get my foot in the door. But now I don't watch other, like, it's very, very rare that I will watch another TA analyst now. Very rare, because I find that they get in my head.
Yeah.
And I've had and I'm not going to name who it is. It's a good friend of mine. He has a YouTube channel. And I was just, he was doing something, and I was like, I don't know if that's going to work, but he is a good trader. And he was texting me being like, yeah, man, I think this is going to happen. And I'm like, all right. And I took the trade, and I lost. I lost a lot of money on the trade. And it was like, and I was like, see, you listen to other people. And so now I just I got my own strategy. I tell everyone transparently what I'm doing on the channel. I tell them the levels. I mean, literally, if you watch my videos, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn. Go back, watch what I talk about, and then look at what the chart did the next day. I mean, we have been smashing it on the channel, like absolutely killing it. And it's not just because we're just going up. Like, I mean, it's just all the levels, all the inter trades. It's been crazy. I don't know actually if I could share. I wanted to talk about something.
Yeah, share away. I'm actually sharing the link in the YouTube chat to your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
So if you guys can go sub, that would be awesome. And also, please smash these likes. Oh my gosh,
hit the like button, guys. Come on.
Share
How
love.
hard is it to
We love love out here. Spread all of it. Gary Gensler's in the chat. Oh my gosh.
He?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gary Gensler's in the chat. He makes me laugh, this dude. He's so funny.
I don't even know how to share my screen.
There's a green button on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
That says
So
share.
it's gonna just gonna show my whole screen.
You could do tab, window, whatever. Screen ones. If you have multiple screens, it'll show you the numbers.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys something crazy.
Show away.
This is something that was actually worrying me. So, like I said, one of the reasons why I we've been riding this move, but it is getting a little concerning right now. There's a few different things. There's some things in the charts I'm going to show you, but also there's been this mentality now all of a sudden where like everyone's getting insanely bullish again. And, you're seeing the AI coins pumping like 500,000% right now. And not to be gross on the stream, but like literally a trending coin 2 days ago was Jizz coin. And when I see meme coins like that trending, that's when I get scared, because that means that the greed has reached the highest level. Like if you look in the past, even when Bitcoin topped in 2017, Bitcoin started declining, and then all the altcoins went on that alt season run for the whole next month. And I'm just kind of worried that Bitcoin's starting to stall out. And then I'm going to show you in a minute other things that I'm seeing that, I'm not saying we can't push up a little higher, but I'm just saying at this point, we've had like a 50+% move off the bottom. And there's just a few things that we may need to calm down for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like we may need, because nothing goes up in a straight line. So,
listen, if number always goes up, that's a problem. Yeah, we could see it. Listen, number go up isn't real. Number always going up, that's not realistic. We got to have consolidation. It's healthy.
Exactly. So this is crazy. So obviously I have Market Cipher down here, and then this is Wave Edge. I like to use them together. They look very similar, but it's more of just kind of confirmation. Like if I see it here, I see it here, then I'm like, okay. But this is what freaked me out. And I showed this on my channel, and some people thought that I was literally I just put these arrows here. They were like, oh, you just drew 5 arrows on a chart. No, I didn't. These you cannot erase. These are signals based basically on volume. And what it shows is whenever you get these red arrows, it means that there is large entities selling compared to the total volume of that day. So these are daily candles. And this to me is distribution. Look at this. I could get rid of this blue box if you want. That was just to highlight it. But look at this. You have a green pump and then sell, pump, sell. These are days, by the way. Pump, sell, pump, sell, pump, sell.
Wow.
Okay. That was 10 straight days of doing the exact same whale selling. So that is arguably distribution, right? Whereas accumulation would be the bottom, distribution would be the top. And, if I come, let me get this back over here. If I show you up over here, where did we have something similar? Do you see this move right here? Look, we had something it wasn't as methodical, but very, very similar right here. You see? So we had the same sort of whale situation going here. And you could see that that's where we then, no, we didn't crash down or whatever, but you could see that that was looking like there was going to be a cool off period, before. And that's kind of what I'm warning about right now is it's looking a little similar where, you could see something where we come down and we retest, like, for example, I know I got a bunch of charts open here. Of course, every one I'm opening is not the one I want to show. The CME futures gap down here. This, we always close these gaps and people say, oh, it's a meme. It is a meme, but we always close them. And this gap is at 19,990. So we, at some point, I believe are going to come down here, whether we go up here first or come down here. I believe we're going to at least minimally retest. But the good news is we are on this upward sloping trend. So as long as like anywhere, we could fall anywhere on this line, it doesn't matter. That's still pretty good for Bitcoin. So that's that. But the other thing that is really weird, and this has never, ever happened literally in the history of Bitcoin, is we're having a golden cross right here on daily. So we're having this 50 moving average moving above. Now you can see historically, I have them all marked off here.
Wow.
Usually that's good, right? Usually you could see, there's maybe a little fake out in the short term, but generally speaking, whenever we have those crosses, you do notice that here's a big fake out, right? The day after this dumped like 20%, shook everyone out, and then boom, off to the races, sideways consolidation, but ultimately the big move was up. And this was a fake out kind of right here because we had a dump, but then we still went higher anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, it is showing that there is that strength. And some people are like, oh, well, these are lagging indicators. Yeah, but they show momentum though. The fact that you're seeing this, it's showing momentum. It's showing that people are coming in. But what's freaky is when you switch to the weekly, you have the opposite. And we've never had this before. So now we have a death cross on the weekly happening at the same time that we're having you can ignore those lines. Those are to mark the old ones, but you could see the closest we ever got was right here, but we've never actually touched. So this is something we've never seen before. So if any, we've never had this ever in the history of Bitcoin, and it's probably going to end up crossing by the end of this week. So we're having a golden cross and a death cross at the exact same time, and we've never had one on the weekly. And I think this is going to be just sort of one of those learning experiences because this is like an experiment. No one really knows what's going to end up happening with the chart, Do
you think this could end up in a big move in either direction, or what do you think?
Well, this is the problem. Okay, it's one of those things where I feel like the rejection is going to be big or the pump is going to be big. Mm-hmm. So I know it's like, oh, yeah, it's going to go up or down. Yeah, great analysis.
No, it's like that sometimes.
You could see right here that we have this downward sloping trend, right? And this is a very, very important trend. You could see right here how much Bitcoin respected that, right? We had all of this support here, support here, support here. And then look, as soon as we fell below it, what happened? We tried for 2 weeks. See these wicks? 1, 2, none of them could get above. So that's telling me that this is a very important level. Plus you have this, this is the original Terra Luna wick right here. You could see, and if you draw that line across, boom, you had 2 attempts right there. And I'm not making this up. Literally the golden cross, the death cross and those 2 levels. Look at this. Guys, they're like literally.
Oh my gosh, they're about to touch.
This is crazy. That's what I'm saying. So like we are going to see we're either going to see price literally like just skyrocket like up to like literally, I'm not kidding, like 30K, or we're probably going to get a hard rejection and probably retest the lows again, honestly.
Retest the lows, like 15?
I don't know if we're going to go that low because, you could argue that there is a, right here, if you kind of look at this, there's a slight uptrend, Whoop, did not mean to do that. So, maybe if we did, have a rejection here, maybe we come down and we like, something like this, catch this trend here or something like that, maybe. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. And I just wanted to warn you guys, there's a lot of warning signs. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, like between the meme coins pumping, the whale manipulation, and the fact that we've literally never in the history ever seen a death cross and a golden cross at the same time with these types of resistances, it's going to be crazy. Like I'm telling you guys, like don't leave crypto now because the next 2 weeks are going to be freaking nuts. Like we're going to have fun. We can trade it. We can make money. But long term, I just DCA anyway, so doesn't really bother me. Like I trade, but I always have a hodl position and I don't sell it. So I never freak out.
That's so wild, and no one has brought this up to me before, and I know that's probably because of like the timing in the charts, but like I had no idea that this death cross and all of this stuff was happening. I think because I do feel like there's a big move coming. I even titled that on my show this morning. Like, is there a big move coming for Bitcoin? Because something's got to give. There's
Well, we already
so many
had the
people
big
coming
move.
into
We had
crypto.
the big move, but I think there's going to be more of a move after that as well. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to something. There's got to be some spice. We got to have the news coming in saying something, a new narrative about crypto come out. So like, because even if you look at the World Economic Forum and like Davos, the whole thing was about blockchain and CBDCs and how other countries are actually buying Bitcoin in the States. Like now, like Arizona wants to make it legal tender. Texas wants to invest in Bitcoin. So again, it's like we have pushbacks, but there's so many institutions, so many countries, states, everything coming into crypto that it's hard for me to believe that we could be we're in like this terrible bear market.
I saw there's a few FUD articles going around right now because there was something with I think it was like Goldman Sachs or something, and they're putting pressure on banks with crypto, and you're seeing these headlines like, oh, U.S. citizens get ready, crypto's going to get banned. It's not going to get banned, guys.
Bro.
Guys, it's not going to get banned. Like, just please, like, I'm not there's no reason for them to do it. It does not compete with the dollar. That's the thing. It does not compete with what the dollar is trying to do. Bitcoin is closer to gold. Does gold compete with the dollar? No. You're not bringing your gold bars and sacks and throwing them and shaving it off on the counter. No, it's a store of value. So at the end of the day, they got to worry more about what the BRICS are doing with their basket of currencies than they do with Bitcoin. I say figure out how to tax it and forget about it. Just let it be, let it do its thing. I mean, because you're not going to stop it. You're not going to close Pandora's box. And all they're going to do is push innovation to other places. And I saw today, there was some news article where they were saying that like people are not coming to the US anymore. Like the immigration, like they're going to all these other places, like they're going to Dubai or they're going here, like places that are more, and the thing is like, guys, you're going to kill innovation. You would be better to embrace it and bring the jobs here, focus on the blockchain tech, and maybe start hoarding Bitcoin. Maybe the US starts buying Bitcoin, so I don't know. I just think it's better to embrace. And I don't believe that we need regulation. Like I said, I don't think we need it. It's not necessary. Bitcoin works fine without it. But the reality is regulation will bring clarity to those bigger players. Now, you're talking, if you have clarity, now you have huge like investment firms. You have a sovereign wealth funds of, countries now. People think, oh, well, Michael Saylor's in, and like, there's so much more money on the sideline. When you look at Bitcoin, there's this chart, you can Google it. It's like literally all the money in the world, even though I think when you Google that, the movie comes up, but there is a picture from moneywatch.com. And it shows you just the all the M2 and everything. And it's just pages. Like you're literally just scrolling through this thing of just pages. And then it's just Bitcoin is this little orange dot. And people have no idea. That's why when I talk about on my channel, Bitcoin going to 1 million in our lifetime, people laugh at me. I'm like, you guys don't understand. Exactly. Did you see how much money they just printed? They printed more money in 2 years than they did in like 80 years.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. Like trillions, like people do not understand trillions. Trillions is crazy. So, you need what is it? Oh God, I can't do math right now. You need, 999 million. So you need 1,000 millions to make a billion. So you need 1,000 billions to make a trillion. Is that right? Just think about that number. And they're just like printing it like nothing. So yeah, I'll hold my Bitcoin that only has 21 million ever. Thank you. Like I'll stick to this for now.
Exactly. So. And you know what? You're so right about the innovation end, because even when FTX was going through all that stuff, and then like there was like the congressional hearings and like blah blah blah, one of the questions that was posed was about dollar dominance, because that's really all it's about, is dollar dominance. And the person that answered was they said, hey, if you stop innovation, if you stop crypto here, people will leave and go to other countries. So at the end of the day, the dollar's diminishing, and it'll diminish even faster if you stop and if you stifle essentially innovation. Now, even in the UK, I was reading an article to the Zesty fam this morning on the show where The UK is actually saying that people are leaving the UK because you can't even do anything with crypto there. All these crypto people, like that were running exchanges, whatever, they're actually leaving the UK and operating outside of the UK. But to prevent them from doing that, they want everyone, if you have an exchange and you want to serve people in the UK, you have to be located. Like your HQ has to be in the UK. So they're pushing innovation out while trying to contain it at the same time. So things like that I picture are not working out. This is a borderless global industry. You have to let it act as one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm here in the U.S. People call me crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's like Stockholm syndrome. I don't know. Like you just kind of like you just like, yeah, just beat me up with some more taxes, fellas. Thanks for the protection. I don't really know. Like
Big
I don't
brother,
know,
approve of me, please.
well, the truth is, honestly, like I actually do like where I live. Like, I mean, I'm not a fan of winter, but I
hate
like New
winter.
York. I love the spring here. It's beautiful. The summer's great, perfect temperatures. I like it here. But if it did get to that point where they started, then I would have to make a decision, and if they started getting crazy with crypto and really tried to ban it or something, then, I would have to renounce because that's crazy. Like now you're taking away my freedom. Like
Yep.
it's property and it's not hurting anyone. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, I don't think it's going to affect the dollar. Like it's just an investment vehicle. Like gold has been around for 5,000 years, right? Well, I mean, literally forever, but
Yeah,
we've been
forever,
using it as money for 5,000 years. Is it, does anybody feel threatened by that? I mean, I don't see that being a problem. Like you still go to Dubai, you pay with AED, you go over here, you pay with US. It's there as an option. And that's how I look at Bitcoin. I don't think it competes with the dollar. So I think they would be smart to, like I said, tax it. And, yeah, I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum make a lot of sense to me. And that's another thing too, just extremely like maxis. I always wear a Bitcoin hat. I'm not a maxi. I do have altcoins. I think that there's plenty of room for multiple. Bitcoin and Ethereum to me are two different things. Bitcoin is like a digital gold, even though now there's NFTs and stuff that they're putting on it, whatever. And Ethereum is, it's almost like a stock exchange in a way. Like, like it's like its own little computer. It's like the internet. And
it will be the stock exchange. I believe there will be a tokenized stock exchange.
Well, but what gives something like Ethereum value to me is like, the gas, right? Because you need to hold some Ethereum in order to use the network. So that in itself gives it, people might even argue that gives it more value than Bitcoin, right? Because, right? In a way, if you want to really be an ETH maximalist. So, I think there's room for both of them. I would have both in your portfolio. I would
definitely have, like, listen, whenever I tell people to look into crypto I on the streets, I hand them this card, learn about Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum.
I think you gave me one of those cards. I think when we were in Miami or something. I don't know where.
Do you have my card?
I feel like I do.
If you do,
somewhere.
I'm going to be so happy. Did I give you a sticker?
So if you could see what this studio looks like right now, I'm in the process of like, it's a mess, but I have so many stacks of cards that people just gave me, crypto. And you know what I found out? This is actually the funniest part. So you go to these crypto conferences and I used to go there and see these like dudes with like these like freaking like 200, like just crazy wristwatches and Armani suits and whatever. And it's like, you find out that all the guys that like dress and act and look like that, all trying to push like shit coins or like they don't, whatever. And like, I don't know. It's like the guys that actually like have the money and made money in crypto are walking around in like flip flops and like t-shirts. Yes. You know what I mean? Like I literally just, I don't care, man. I don't even want people to know. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm broke. I have no crypto. Like, I don't even want you to know. I don't, literally, I don't even want to brag. Like, it's not your business, and people who brag about it, it's like, I don't know. It's just funny. It's just funny. But I do like the way that it's kind of evolved. Like Bitcoin Miami was really, really cool last year. And it was really fun. And I feel like it's like evolving, but it's like bittersweet, because it's like, you have the OGs, but then you also have like every year there's always like, I'm only here for the money. Like, I don't care about the purpose or the tech. So it is what it is, man. I get it. People want to just make money. It's fine.
Dude, it's so funny that you brought up like how crypto people dress, because like there was a video that actually someone put me in, and it was like this guy and he was going over, I have to find who it was. I forgot his name. He did like the types of people at Bitcoin conference, and it's like, the chill people, the guys with the suits, the sweatpants, the influencer, the hippie, and it was just like really hysterical. And it was just so accurate. But like really probably the richest people I've met in crypto are people that walk around looking like they just rolled out of bed.
No, for real though.
Like, I'm
Like
gonna be
seriously,
so
like that's
honest,
how
but
you
they're
know.
so smart.
If you go
They're
to a
so
crypto
smart.
conference, just like find the guy that looks like a bum. He has the most money.
It's just so
I
fucking true.
swear.
And you'll
It's
probably be
never
the
not like
smartest
that.
person in the room. That happened a lot like with a friend of mine, and like people like judged him like based on like what he wore and how he acted. But if you sit down with him, he's the smartest person you'll ever meet in your life.
I think I might know who you're talking about.
Who?
Is the Ken? Or
Yeah,
no? Yeah,
Ken.
yeah.
I love
I
Ken so
Ken's
freaking
awesome, man.
much. Shout out to
Yeah.
Ken Bozak, man.
A lot
I
of
fucking
people
love
don't. A lot of people don't really know that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
actually friends with basically everyone in crypto. Like, I know so many people, but I don't really do like these live streams. And actually, I just want to let you know, everybody that's watching right now, this is very rare for me. So, as you can tell, I am enjoying myself. I don't know. I kind of keep it. I used to do a lot of the interviews back in the day, and probably would be better for my like probably help my channel grow. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like I know what I want to talk about. I know what I want to say, and I just want to get that information out. Like sometimes I do like even really fast videos, like just like in my downstairs, just because
Yeah, I've seen that.
I just want to like get the information out so fast. I
Yeah.
talk very fast too, as you can tell.
I mean, listen,
So-
we both. I've had that problem lately where I'm just like, "Bleh," and I have to realize like it's our New Yorker in us, and we have to like take a breath and slow the frig
That
down.
is true. That is true. We're always in a
yeah.
rush. Like everyone's like, why are you
Always.
walking so fast? I'm like, because like I have to.
Yes.
It's what we do here. We walk
Literally.
fast. We walk and talk fast.
Exactly, and it's like keep up, bro. Like if you're not like doing something in 2 minutes or less, I'm not here for it. Also, guys, be here for me. There's like 300 people watching. Smash those likes. Let's get to 200 likes. Share love. I wanted to ask you too because again, you're looking at these charts every day. You're making content every day. How do you feel about this space in general and how it's progressing and how actually you're progressing throughout your crypto journey?
The space as a whole?
Yeah, since you got in, because you've been seeing Bitcoin from when you really didn't care about it to where you said, hey, like this is something I really have to pay attention to. And now your whole life is crypto. Your crypto zombie.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. It's hard to think of life without it. I like where the space is going, but history keeps repeating itself. And I'm telling you, like, there's always some people that come in and they're like, oh, this time it's crazy different, whatever. It's different because yes, like we are in, I guess you could say like a broader bear market because of the Fed and everything that's going on. So in that sense, yes, like the macro is different, but I don't think it's like, because, okay, you'll hear some guys say, we just got to get all these degens out of the space, right? Like we got to like all these meme coins and tokens, like, like what I was talking about, how we're seeing them pump. It's not going to stop, guys. It's literally fear and greed. Like people are always going to get, it's emotions. That's the market. So that's why I don't believe that really anything will change. And I do believe we will continue to make a better, we're going to have scams. They're not going away, guys. There's going to be scams 100 years from now. There's going to be more elaborate scams, but ultimately I think we have cleaned up the space a lot. You got to just look at take the small victories. Like you're not looking at, where it was crypto was this evil, terrible thing. I mean, Donald Trump literally was like, I don't believe in any of this. And now he releases NFTs.
Literally
like,
on Polygon of all things. Polygon. I'm so weak. I'm so weak.
Michael Saylor back in 2000, I think it was 2013. There's that famous tweet. I might be wrong with the year where he's trashing on Bitcoin. And, you're seeing people in the government higher positions where the conversation used to be, how do we close this thing? How do we get it out? It's only used for illicit, this, that. And now you're seeing, like Cynthia Lummis come out and they're like, no, let's try to figure out how to embrace it and regulate it. Like the whole narrative around the space is growing and evolving. That's why it's not going anywhere. They've basically come out and said Bitcoin is essentially property, a commodity, right? It's not a security. They've already said that. So that's a huge, huge thing in itself. I'm very, very bullish on the space as a whole. But people are going to get burned and it's going to happen because you're going to get greedy. Like even with all these AI, like I think AI still has a run. I think you're going to still see, some of these tokens run, but I'm not going to name specific ones because I'm telling you 90+% of them are going to fall 90%. It's going to happen. Like there were coins and projects in 2017 that like I was convinced. I was like having dinner at like my relative's house and being like, you don't understand. This is going to be a household name. Everyone's going to be using this. Everyone. And like, where are they now? You know what I mean? So just be careful. I tell people like, I think you can fall in love with Bitcoin. I think you could even possibly argue Ethereum and Litecoin I love Litecoin too. Woo. But I would be careful falling in love with other, especially tokens. like be careful, because that's when you start, like, why are you in it? Like, are you just there because you just want to be a fanboy and just support them and hold their token down to zero? Fine, do that. But if you want to make money, be smart. And if you're up, take profits. Like right now, I know there's people that are up right now that just bought in. If you got into these AI altcoins and you haven't at least taken half, you're crazy. You're going to do what I did back in 2018 when I watched my profile, my portfolio literally go up. Oh my God, it's ungodly. Like it was huge how much money I made, and only to watch it come back down again. Like, don't be that guy.
Just ouch, man.
Take profits in cash, whatever. I also take profits in Bitcoin because that's what I do. So, whatever, you got your strategy, do your strategy. Just make sure you're not sitting in something that you don't believe in. Because if you don't believe in a project, then you have to admit that you are just in it for a quick flip. Because if you don't believe in it, and the price starts going down, you're going to be the first to panic sell because you're not buying it out of conviction. You're buying it because some guy on Twitter said it was a good coin. Like, and just those are the mistakes. The best thing that people could do in these times is like you said, learn how to trade, learn how to do your own research. Because I'm not going to be here forever, guys. You may not even be, I don't know. I mean, you're pretty young, so you might be here a little bit longer than me,
Yeah.
But I don't know how long you plan on doing this. But I mean, at some point, I'm not going to be talking about the charts every day. Like, you guys are going to have to learn for yourselves. And, the best thing you could do is invest in your own education, and I don't know, that's sounds like the more you know, I don't know. So
no, I love it. You have to educate yourself. Like, that's, how I've been going about it. That's how you've been going about it. Tom Crown is in the chat. He says hi, by the way.
Oh, what's up, Tom? I love Tom. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. We all learn from each other at the end of the day. Like, I've learned a lot from my community, and I hope people learned something from me. I'm out here trying to educate. But we're serious. Like, I really do think education is key. Doing your own research is key. And not a lot of people say, hey, do your own research, because it's cool to say do your own research, but we really do mean do your own research. Take what we say with a grain of salt, double check us, triple check us, go to other influencers, watch their stuff, go Google everything, go on government websites if you want to confirm some of the things we're talking about, because a lot of the time it's all right there for you to see. So again, do your own research, friends. It's extremely important. And I think it's extremely important to follow Crypto Zombie and follow his journey, be a part of the zombie fam. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you so much. Like,
this was the fastest hour of my life.
I know,
I just
me
felt
too.
like I was just talking to a friend or something. This was so cool. I should do more content like this. This was fun.
You want to come back soon?
I don't know if anybody appreciated it, but I had a good time.
I appreciate you, and I think that's what matters. And I would love to have you back sometime soon if you're down. Like, I'm not like gonna like forcibly make you come on stream, but like
maybe
I would
next
love to
time we'll
you.
have like next time we'll have like a topic. Like, we can talk about something, like if something crazy happens or something.
Ooh.
Actually, that's
you know
before we go. I know you got to get off here, but I wanted to ask you, because I was curious, because you are probably the youngest person I think I know, really, except for like a lot of the TikTok finance guru people. But you're also on TikTok, I noticed. But like, I just don't find that like the younger generation has as much interest in like Bitcoin and stuff like that. It's weird. I can't like. It's crazy. Like, just the other day, I realized like, oh my God, I'm the old guy now.
No,
like,
not at all.
I was reading some stuff in TikTok, and it's like this 15-year-old kid who's like telling me like, I don't know what I'm talking about. and I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I was like, my friend, let me tell you something. I have lived more than 2 of your lives. I have seen a lot of things happen. Okay, so like, I definitely think when I speak from a place of knowledge. I don't just talk to hear myself talk. But then I was like, why am I letting this 15-year-old kid in the comments like actually get to me?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the internet for you. But I do think the younger generation, we're extremely into crypto, and we're digitally native. Like, all I wanted when I was younger was an iTunes gift card to go on the App Store with virtual money. At that point, it's virtual money. You go with virtual money, go buy a digital game with that digital money, go on the game, buy skins, assets, digital coins to spend within the game. The only thing is that I didn't own them. Now, if I could go back and everything was a Web3 game, I'd be able to rent out my assets, sell the assets, recover a lot of my funds that I essentially just threw out the window with my iTunes gift card. So we're all digitally native. We want the right to own our content. That's that saying, if you didn't take a selfie, if you weren't there, if we have content, we want it to be known that it's ours. We want the credit, NFTs. This all ties in. Like, especially we know what censorship is like, especially on TikTok or anything. If there's anything that you post that's slightly spicy, gets taken down, and people don't want to be censored. They want to own their assets. They want to own their value. And that's why Gen Z crypto, it just perfectly aligns. Now, the problem that I see is the barrier to entry, which is if you're under 18, you can't get on an exchange. Meanwhile, if you're 13, you could go have a debit card and, degen your life away. But again, if you're under 18, you can't get on an exchange. You can only go to Bitcoin ATMs. And us in New York, we're a little beat because all the ATMs here are illegal unless otherwise approved, which I haven't really heard about.
I'm surprised that they don't make me have a bit license to have a freaking YouTube channel.
It's pretty wild.
It is crazy. And I don't know. It is, again, is it the Stockholm syndrome? I don't know. People are like, why are you in New York? I'm like, I've been here for 7 years. I mean, yeah, it's a little complicated, but at the end of the day, I get a lot of people asking me, like, I can't tell anyone what to do. Okay. And I can't advocate for you guys to do things you shouldn't be doing. But at the end of the day, all of this like KYC stuff and all that, it's to protect you according to so like, they're like, what happens if altcoins are securities? You're not going to go to jail.
No.
They're not gonna, if they find out that you're holding altcoins, they're not going to, oh, that's it, you're straight to jail right now. No, they're going to go find the people that sold them to you or the exchange that you went on and go after them to protect you, right? So it's not like it's not as bad as it seems. It's a little restrictive. There's a few extra steps, but
it's, I don't know. I think that's going to change. All the laws and how they tax crypto is definitely going to change, being that people are going to be using Bitcoin anyway, and peer-to-peer payments is going to take over, especially with like, CBDCs and everything like that. But what I think is funny is that like you could be like 17, 18 years old, go on or any age really, go into stocks, gamble there gamble your life away, lose all your money, go into debt, and that's okay without being protected. And you could also go and gamble on all these sports sites and lose your whole savings and not be protected. But if you invest in crypto, then like all of a sudden you're a bad guy. And I really do think that's all going to change when they try to figure out how to regulate it. But even then, I just don't see, how that's all going to work. Being that, again, it's code. Like, you can't stop code. You can't stop the revolution. So there's going to have to be give one way or another. I just think we're extremely early, and all of this is just attributed to just being early, and they just don't know what to do yet.
People think they're
just
not
confused.
Early. They think they're not early. You're not like early as in like bought Bitcoin for $8 early.
No, but we're still extremely early.
The revolution of this whole blockchain era, yeah, absolutely. There's so much. I mean, look at how much. We were just talking about all those coins and all those projects that failed. There's so much more to come out of this. So, but yeah, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You've been like, this is like super long. So thank you.
You're all good.
That came out, and you guys have been great.
No, you're so awesome. We're going to do this again. Like 100%. We're doing this soon. Oh, TPA Public Awakening. Thank you for joining. He's a friend of mine.
Another idea too is if because you're maybe if you ever do anything in New York, we do like an actual meetup something, and because I'm actually here, so we could also, I don't know, but whatever. It doesn't matter, guys. So thank you again. I feel like I was supposed to end the video for some reason. I'm like, thanks again for coming out to the channel. You guys rock. I felt like I was supposed to end it.
You're so funny, dude. No, you're actually really awesome. Crypto Zombie, you're the best. And this again was like an amazing hour. Absolutely flew by. I looked at the clock and I was like, oh damn, it's been a while, but I want to do this again soon. And thank you so much for joining me and being one of like my last shows as a 19-year-old. So this is like an NFS. This is a non-fungible show for us.
Oh, when's your birthday?
The 16th.
Oh, that's very soon.
Yeah, so we're celebrating here. Guys, please follow Crypto Zombie, subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's in the live chat and in the description. I'm also grabbing his Twitter. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, I also tagged his Instagram on my Instagram story before we went live. So please give Crypto Zombie a lot of love. Give him a follow. Where can everyone else find you if I missed anything? And can you give us like a message? It could be about food. It could be about being cold in New York. It could be about crypto. It could be about being self-sovereign. Speak from the heart. Give us a message.
Oh man, I feel like I kind of did that with the whole like do your own research thing. Okay. I guess if I had this, you said it could be about food.
Anything you please. Anything that's like your heart says I need to share with our friends. It could really be anything.
I think that like when it comes to life, you need to do what you need to do for yourself. There's a lot of people that are going to tell you what they think you should do. But understand that, if you look around you, 95% of people are not happy. So why would you take the advice from the unhappy person who's in a position that they don't want to be in? So I say, your health is very important. Take care of yourself. And yeah, man, a lot of people like they don't understand, like, this is a really weird thing, but I'm going to just say it right now. Processed foods, sugar, seed oils, that's causing the majority of the issue. Like I'm just being real. Like people are like, I don't understand. It's like, dude, just cut those few things out. Like you can eat basically whatever you want. So, because I went on a crazy journey. I was vegan for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that. It's a very sensitive subject. You talk about it, people get offended. But I had to do what was right for my body at the end of the day. But I'm sorry, I don't know what the heck to say, man. Have a great life. Be happy. Stop staring at the charts all the time, guys.
Yeah, go touch grass. What are you doing out here,
Go run
you
outside.
plebs?
Go get a tan. I don't know. I don't know how to
Go
end this.
touch grass. Go feel the sun. Thank you so much, Zombie. I really do appreciate you. Please, again, follow Crypto Zombie on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. Show him love. This was an absolute great time, and I'm really happy that we really got to sit down and chat. I can't wait to do it again soon. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for coming. I appreciate every single one of you. I was reading the comments the whole time. You guys are making me laugh out here. Please show some love to the stream. Smash those likes, subscribe, share the stream out with friends, and comment after this is over what you guys think I should do 20. Is crypto dead or alive, or is it a zombie like Crypto Zombie? Let us know. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And as always, stay zesty. See you tomorrow. Peace.